Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you can find just a few minutes in your day to allow me to try and convince you why you should start over, especially if you're not quite content with where you are in life. I chose to start over, especially at the ripe age of 17 years old, right? You're probably thinking, well, what are you starting over? You just started life. This is practically the first chapter for you. Well, I feel as though a lot of people, regardless of age, especially in this age group too, if you really think about it, are so dogmatic and so stuck on living this certain lifestyle that they truly believe this is how their life should play out. They live a certain way and have certain expectations and just expect life to play out that way. And I've talked to people in my life and people I've come across in my adventures, side quests if you'd call them. And they talked to me about how they aspired to do things in the moment, whether it was achieving XYZ, wanting to be a doctor, a lawyer, a millionaire, all of these great ambitions, and falling short simply because they didn't act on it or they lived a certain way that didn't appease this outcome. And the one regret that they all had in common was that they didn't change their lifestyle. And that's the thing too. When we talk about starting over, people see it as a failure. Most people see a 180 in one's life as a failure, as a shortcoming, a setback. But the one real thing that most people don't realize is that starting over is one of the most strongest things a human being can do. And starting over means putting yourself in a new environment, new friends, new focus, resharpening yourself, and that's just seen as a failure. And I think it's seen as a failure because people are afraid to address that. People are afraid to address restarting because they are in loops, they are in fear, and they are stuck fantasizing about the same future they're having while not even putting themselves in the process of achieving it. And I used to do this too, not too long ago, before I decided to hit the restart button, where it's not even procrastination at this point. You're sitting here telling yourself and giving yourself this narrative that you're focusing on this goal, focusing on this ambition, that you're on this pathway to achieving it, where weeks will go by, months will go by, and you've had no noticeable, no significant contributions or progress towards your ambition. You're practically at where you started, sitting, thinking, and fantasizing about this reality that you know is possible, but you truly aren't working towards. Your environment, your friends, your focus, they simply don't allow you to. You see, it's been really hard, and it wasn't until I stepped back from these people, these friends, environment, it wasn't until I stepped back from those when I realized just how far I am from the person that I want to become. And so I deleted social media. I cut off people who disrespected me. I cut off people who I knew were inhibiting my growth. And this is just out of a realization that these people are only wasting my time. They're wasting my time. And I didn't appreciate that whatsoever. I cut these people off. I deleted social media. I did all these things because of an urgency. And this urgency isn't something that's breaking me. In fact, I think it's just rebuilding me. And that's what starting over really is. It's not a factory reset. It's just a rebuild. It's having the wisdom from everything you've lived until and starting new from it, starting afresh. And so I started building habits that were good for me. I started doing things that would feed me, whether it be reading, other ways of seeking knowledge, fitness. I've been investing my time in the things that actually build me, not drain me. And when you do this, when you approach growth from a start bottom zero mindset, you enjoy being a student again. And that's something a lot of people, especially in this age group, struggle with, especially to the audience, the younger people in the audience. I know you struggle with being a student, dreading the next class or waiting until the lecture is over, but you enjoy being a student again. You get this joy out of learning again, and it's enlightening, it's amazing, it's refreshing. And you approach knowledge with a growth mindset, and you just abandon your ego. And in this process, I also adopted some smaller things too, like keeping a rubber band on my wrist. So every time I get a trigger and an impulse to do any of my bad habits, just snap it. You just become a new human after all that. I know I have a long way to go, don't get me wrong. I know I have much to learn, much to provide, much to improvise, and it hasn't been long actually. It's been about less than 2 weeks, but I felt I should come on here and make this video to encourage you guys to join me on this journey. And I speak with conviction when I say this, that being on this lifestyle and following this path, it's going to rebuild me. And it already has. And it could also rebuild you too. Thank you.